Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Core Keeper. So in this video, we're just going to cover a few things that I wish I knew a little bit sooner than I did. Core Keeper is an amazing game with a lot of different things to do. Some of these are just things that are going to maybe make the game a little bit easier for you. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't. So let's just jump into it. One of the first things that I want to tell you guys is that you get these pickaxes, right? And you can increase their the skill basically. So you start with a wooden pickaxe basically, depending on the background you pick. If you pick a miner, then you can get copper, you can get tin, you can get iron, all the way up to scarlet, and then you can actually find one of these ancient pickaxes. Now, typically when you're in the early biomes and everything like that, you don't really need to use your higher tier pickaxes. So what you want to do is just maybe craft a copper pickaxe and run around with that. Once it breaks, durability goes down, trash it and make a new one, because you can make the new ones relatively easily. You see the wood pickaxes right here, just 4 wood. So very simple, and it saves you some of those scrap parts for some of your more important items. Next one we're going to jump into is the wood in general. So along with the pickaxe, one of the other things you don't really need to upgrade is your shovel. Now I do have an iron shovel here just because I did upgrade it, but you can actually use the wood shovel and it works the exact same way as the iron shovel. It's going to take you 3 digs to pick up any ground that you need, and that's it. So once that durability breaks down, trash it and make a new one for 4 wood. And that's why I suggest, we'll jump into the next one here, carrying a bunch of wood around with you. Not only for the pickaxes and shovels, but it's an easy way to craft some torches if you run out. And even if you need a basic workbench, you can craft that when you're running around as well. So let's go ahead and look at another one here. Up next, we have inventory management, basically. So you're going to have a lot of chests with a lot of different items in them. If you're like me, you try to break them down so they're easier to find, so you know where everything is. So we've got, I don't even know, probably 30 chests around over here in this area right now. And I kind of know where everything is, but one of the things that I do now is you know how to put things in. So I used to sit here and click and drag and click and drag back like that. So if you do this, you hold left shift and just click, left click, it's going to automatically deposit it just like that. So super easy, saves you a little bit of time rather than just clicking and dragging. Another one right here is also how to split the stacks. So I didn't know that. I used to sit here and click, right click until I got the number. So what you can actually do is hold left shift again and then right click, and it's going to split that stack for you right there. Super easy, and it saves you just a ton of time from having to sit there and, you know, right click and hold it down and everything like that, which is effective, but still, shift, right click, boom, you got it, split the stack. Now another thing here with our inventory management is definitely going to help you out. So you see we've got, actually I don't have any here, so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and split some of these up for you just to show you. So let's say I've got this food in here, right? I've got this food on my inventory. I want to go put it in my chest where I've got the food, right? So you can go and do the shift left click. It'll throw them in there. But what you can also do too is a little trick right here. Press Q and it'll go ahead and take every like item that's in your inventory and throw it into a chest that has those same like items. So one button will deposit all that stuff in there. If you've got, you know, wood or potions or just valuables and stuff like that, if you have a chest full of that stuff, you go up to the chest, open it, hit Q, boom, instant deposit. Super easy. All right, so now let's get to a couple more here. All right, so one of the biggest things about the game is your skill, your ability to upgrade your skills here. So we can see all these skills right here. One of the things you can do to upgrade your crafting skill is actually, you're probably going to end up with quite a bit of excess wall materials, like maybe wood or stone and stuff like that. If you come up to the workbenches, a lot of the stuff that you need to make, the wood bridges, the wood walls and stuff, are going to take some simple things like wood and copper bars, which you'll probably end up getting a lot of. So if you have an excess of wood or something like that, just sit up here and craft a ton of wood bridges. If you have a ton of stone and stuff like that, or wood and clay walls or stone, come up here and just craft a bunch of these stone brick walls. Use that excess material to increase your skill points instead of just throwing it in the trash. All right, so here's another one that I didn't know early on. I kind of found it by accident, and that is crafting a bed. Now we know we have to craft a bed and build a little room for the NPCs to come in and join us at our base. But what the bed is actually also useful for is that you can sit here and lay in here, and it will increase your health. So if I take some damage or something like that, and I'm close to my base, you can just go back to your base and it'll increase your health instead of using the health potions or using food to increase your health. Super useful, just a quick little tip, something like that can benefit you and save you some of those resources. One of the other things here I want to show you guys, if you look at my hotbar down here, you see I've got some wood bridges and a salvage and repair station. So the wood bridges, we'll go ahead and bring up the map here. You're gonna see there's a lot of areas where these black pits that you can't cross, or maybe areas of water that you can't traverse. Carrying these wood bridges around will save you a ton of time. So if you get to a spot where you can't cross, throw down a bunch of wood bridges, build yourself a path across from there. So one of my buddies actually told me about that when I was streaming this yesterday. He said, why don't you do that? It'll make it a lot easier. Because what I would do is go dig around the whole area. And by that time, you know, it just takes a lot of time and effort. And when you're trying to get a lot of stuff done in a short amount of time, time is money, right? So also with the salvage and repair station, you have a lot of tools. I like to go out and explore for hours on end actually sometimes. And what I would have to do is I would have to stop because all my tools would break, right? So carrying a salvage repair station will let you sit here. So anywhere you are, if you're out in the wilderness, because that's where I'm spending a lot of my time right now, you go ahead and drop one of these down. Make sure you have some scrap parts in your inventory too. And then go ahead and boom, repair your item. Pick up your salvage repair station and then keep going. Gives you a lot more time to explore instead of having to stop and go and stop and go and stop and go. Super useful. All right, so we're rounding out our last couple tips here. Let me know if you guys have any special tips in the comments. I'd like to see what else you guys have learned about the game, but let's go ahead and jump into the next couple. All right, so this one is something I wish I knew a little bit earlier, and it goes back to the skill trees. So you see down here when you open your skill trees, what I did was I was putting points everywhere where I wanted things rather than following a strict path, which is definitely a lot more helpful if you actually go down a path that's going to be more beneficial to you in the later game. So what you can actually do is for 200 ancient coins, and that's pretty cheap, 200 ancient coins can respec your skill tree. Now this is useful not only if you mess up and put a point in the wrong place, but also if you're going to fight a certain boss or something like that, some of the skills on these certain skill trees will actually help you in terms of fighting that boss, whether it be taking less damage or cooked food gives you a better bonus against bosses, or increase your critical hit chance. Anything that can give you a leg up on some of these bosses is definitely helpful. So next time before you go jump out to take a boss that's maybe giving you some trouble, double check your skills and see if there's any points that you can put in these certain upgrades that are going to help you with that particular boss fight. And then when you're done, go ahead and set it back to where you want. Same thing if you're going out and exploring. If you want more points for mining damage or mining speed, check on your mining one and see if it's more catered to combat or if it's more catered to mining. A lot of this stuff will definitely help you out. Running speed, all that kind of stuff. Once you get it to a certain point where you're collecting a lot of the valuables, you'll end up with a ton of ancient coins. And dropping 200 just to respec that to help you out, depending on whether you're exploring or fighting or cooking or what have you, it's definitely a bonus. So our last one here is actually going to be something that I really wish I knew earlier on, and that's that your characters in these worlds are interchangeable. Now what I mean by that is I can go start a new world if I'm having a particular hard time finding a special item to craft something. Go ahead and start a new world and go look for it there. And I mentioned that in the rune song video that I did where I was having a hard time finding a broken handle because I actually originally used it as a weapon. So I spent a couple hours looking for it in my world, and we went all over this stone biome in the Forgotten Ruins here to look for another one. Couldn't find one. So what I do, I hopped into one of my other worlds, and I'll show you guys how to do this real quick. I went and hopped into another world and went down to the Forgotten Ruins and found it within maybe 10-15 minutes. So you can go ahead and pick your world right here. So if I want to bring my main character into this world, then I'll just select the world I want to go to and then pick my character. Same thing down here. I can go to any world. I can go start a new world, and you've got 30 different slots for all these different worlds. So I can go start a new world anywhere. And same thing with your characters. Maybe if you want to tinker with something else, you've got 30 different slots for characters to mess around with. So that's all we got for 13 tips that you may or may not have known, and it's definitely 13 things I wish I knew a lot sooner when I picked up the game. So hopefully this video helped it out. If it did, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love to have you join our Core Keeper community here. And with that being said, take care of yourself, everybody. Take care of each other. And as always, stay original, my friends. We'll see you in the next one. Later.